Welcome to another video on my driving riding robot discovery based on the TXT controller from Fischertechnik. Last time I tried several things again with the touch sensors, the active sonar. I haven't used the camera because so far I can't use the camera using Python. I can only use it using RoboPro. And then a lamp and a more or less functioning gadget as the propeller. Another project, it has a real function. Here it's just an addition. Lately the tests have been that the signals were not received well. That turned out to be a difference between Python 3 and 2 and 3. I changed the code accordingly, but what still happens is that the distance covered by the pulses that I am counting on C1 and C2 are not what I want, and that is still causing trouble. Then it is wireless. How fast are things transferred wireless? That is a problem. That is a good question as well. When I touch one of the sensors, it stops or it doesn't, and the problem is it is, to my opinion, way too random that it either stops or it doesn't. Then the sonar, it has a minimum reliable distance of 2 centimeters. Now this is already 1 centimeter. So what I'm thinking of is relocating this sonar to here to make sure that the beams are not obstructed here in anything. On the other hand, with the 2 centimeters that it doesn't measure anything, it should not matter anyway. So as I'm all about testing, let's move it forward and see whatever happens. If something really stops for the sonar, then I should not be able to measure any hits from the sensors. So I think that is a very nice idea. And whatever else comes, the sound should be there. That has also been problematic in with this version of the firmware, which is the community version, as you can probably see. The other version, the original version, is changing with having the sounds go or not. So let's test about that. First of all, relocating the sonar here, and then see whatever I can find in the code. In the introduction I said that the camera cannot be used in Python. Well, strictly speaking, that is of course not true, since I have here a camera which takes pictures, but it cannot be used in the sense of color recognition and distance determination, etc. So in that sense it is true what I said. Then, considering timing, why do things take some time? Well, for instance, it takes 2.5 seconds for the camera to get online. That is taking time when you start the program, which is noticeable when I do a floor test. It takes time, and yes, that is 2.5 seconds. Then, looking at the rest, I have here the two pulse counters, and the rest is not filled in at the moment. But when I make an attempt, and I just made sure that the wheels are not touching the desktop, so let's run it. This takes 2.5 seconds, and here you already see what happens. You hear the sound, and the 11 centimeters that it measures is the distance to the tripod for the camera. But for the rest, it says 6, 7, and this will be counting. So I am now very curious if this 6 and 7 will go to 12 and 13, because that is what bothers me. Why is it such a limited count? Most likely because of the tripod. Is that true? This is the second action, yes. And here it says, here it starts. Here it says 11 and 5 and 11. Alright, and here it says 8. I am removing the tripod. Let's see if this makes a difference. Not really. Well, you don't hear any sound, just crackling wood. Well, that is sound, of course. But let's go to the start. This is 1 and 0, this is 11. And the pre is, this is 5. So let's just count. Oh, and this is, by the way, 10 to 15. This is 10 to 15, is 6 and 7. So that is accumulating. Here 10 to 15 is 5, and this is 10. And here there is no sonar, which is logical. And the counter says 2. And why is it approaching so fast? Why is it not running that much? So let's take a look at the code again. Because here I have set smaller than 1000. Now I don't press the contact. So am I doing something wrong that it doesn't go on with the contact? I think that is a good question. Alright. What does it do here? Let's go to the end. Alright. That also says 1000. That's 1000. Then here it is likely also 1000. Yes. Smaller than 1000 anyway. So I expect it to run right up to 1000, and that never happens. So what I will do is put on the floor test, no objects, and see whatever happens. Does it run far, or doesn't it? Let's concentrate on that. And I had a rather big oops on the controller as soon as I pulled the plug from the net adapter and wanted to go to the battery. It went off, and it took me a couple of attempts to power it up again. Had to set the date again, so that doesn't make life any easier. Anyway, it's set. 4 light sources again, plus daylight. So yeah, let's run it. No objects, just running. Yeah, and I don't like this happening. So let me see the screen output. It says that the sonar sees something at 30 centimeters distance. I don't buy that. This is 30 centimeters and there is nothing in range. Within range, so I don't think so. And the counter only says 3 and 5 for motor counters, so no. New attempt. Well, you see at the last moment it deviates from the course. You hear some sound, but let's look at the screen output. This time the distance is 2263. Not really likely, but it is a nice distance anyway. Counter end 3. Yeah, right. And the sonar says also 308. Well, I don't think so. Well, that may be, but yeah, plausible. Let's say 308 is plausible. But then again, the software says only between maximum 15 centimeters you should stop. Well, the ruler again, this, where my index finger is 15 centimeters. Well, by my knowledge, there's nothing in between the front end with the camera and 15 centimeters. So, no such thing. So, I guess it's time to get back to the code and see again if I overlook something with code blindness, why it stops anyway after so few pulses. Because this is normal, this is not good at all. So, as I already set on camera, distance 296. This, well, let's see if I find CAS, which is here, sonar distance, then CA0, which is right here, also sonar distance, and that is or1, or contact 1, or contact 2, etc. And within that while it is if contact 1 is 1, and this is again smaller than 1000. So it doesn't make any sense at all. Well, I can forget about these two because I didn't press any sonar or any contact. Let's get back. Alright, start distance, well, maybe plausible. 0 pre. Which is here. This is the first reading after starting the program. First reading. So anything is 0 then. But this, where is 0? And it is here. And as you can see, it is at 80% of the program. So only 3 pulses. Now let's get back to the other runs. Here it is 2. The other end it is 16. And previous it is 5. And it is a while, of course. However, when you go back, here. You clearly say, alright, you say run for 700. Do you see 700? I don't. Unless I'm looking at the wrong place, but alright, let's make it different. Let's just make it 999, which is, after all, smaller than 1000. Right. Do I have to do it some more? Set distance is 200. And I said contact, if contact is 1, set distance is 200. Is that logical? Well, if you already press 1, you effectively should stop. But here you say, okay, it is a distance you go, but here you say set speed is 250 and minus 250, so you basically turn around your axis. And there comes another thing. Whenever I press 1 by putting an object in its way, it just stops, it doesn't turn around. And same thing here with contact 2 is 1. Same thing, it doesn't turn around, it just stops. So that is something which is odd, very odd indeed. Here you set the distance. So is something interfering? Maybe. I should take a further look at this, because yes, it should turn around. That's a good thing to look at. I have made one change in the code. I have increased the first synchronized distance. Instead of 700, then you notice that I changed it to 999, and now I have changed it to 1999. So one short of 2000. So now I'm very curious what will happen. And I'm starting the program. Will it actually drive further, much further? Not really. So, what if I increase the value of 1000 to 2000? Will that make any difference? On the other hand, it won't, because the condition is if contact 1 and the distance is smaller than 1000. Same with contact 2. If contact 2 is 1 and the distance is smaller than 1000. So if also the sonar is with the condition counter is smaller than 1000. So if none of these apply, it should drive on, and that doesn't happen. So what will happen if I touch the sonar anyway? Let's just try. And keep in mind that whenever it's something is touched, it should make a turn. Well, I do hear a sound, but I don't see a turn. So that's failing. Trying with the other touch. Alright, that's sonar. That is obviously a touch, but again, no turn. Now let's do sonar again. So what should you do with sonar? Yeah, with sonar it just stops and sound, no turn. So there is something in the code that is somehow preventing or not letting happen the turn that is programmed into it. So that is clearly something I should look into, but since this is the last part of this video, it is for the next episode. So thank you for watching. If you like this video and my other videos, please consider subscribing to my YouTube. If you don't want to, I'm on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter and you can follow me on Instagram. Please also visit my website, which is listed in at the start of this video and under this video if you're watching on YouTube. And please consider to make a small donation if you like this all. More information also on my website. And this is certainly going to be continued. So, bye bye.